Hey everyone, Kyle once again, and welcome back to the next episode review. And we're back at season 3 of Ocean. So with this episode, because I skipped last week's episode, so the next week was 33. Now we're at 34 now. Yeah, because I skipped last week's episode. Almost good episode regardless though, but almost there was almost like not much to talk about though, because a lot of it was getting on the production of the movie and with the casting choice, right? So and but just briefly, just we do see a quick moment where Aqua is at the mother's grave, and so he gets approached by the mysterious girl whenever, because like in the end of the second season where this this mysterious girl talks to Ruby, whenever a crow, but where there's a bunch of crows around, so and about regarding about about the mother and everything, so this mysterious girl just goes and approaches Aqua, saying that, hey, um, saying that hey, your mom, she'll never be here, and so she's gone. She will never be reborn again. She's just gone forever. Unlike you, who've been reborn, right? So it's like it's like it's like if she never been reborn and she's basically just been gone forever, like into space and stars or particles, like she was saying, right? On his way, humorously teasing Aqua, and say it's like, what was he brought onto this reborn Earth for? Because was this his job to do revenge or what? So, and then she just goes and leaves, disappears within the crows and all that stuff. So now, that's, and then after, and at the end, they were having a hard time casting the lead of I. It was either Akane or they have Ruby, and they got Frill. They say that Frill was the best choice. So, Frill invites Akane and Ruby for a private audition to see who can do better to be the lead, right? And so, which leading into here, leading to this new episode. So now that they're doing the private audition, and so they're giving their performances, and so Frill asks Ruby, it's like, hey, what was what do you know what lying is about? And so she is like, because Ruby, she's already down a dark path anyway. So, and plus the whole thing about lying, especially what Aqua has done, and it's like she's almost basically she's gone, and he's like, it's like, she's not on speaking terms with Aqua anymore. So, but now with the first time we get to see her say, hey, she wants to die, and so she wants to die, and it's like, and the whole time of her, because you see flashbacks of her old life when she was a sick, back when she was a sick kid in the hospital, right? And so she's like reminiscing now, is like the whole time when she was reborn, was she just acting? Was it all just her acting like this, to try to be like her mom, and it just wonders, it's like what the whole question is, what lying is, and so, and then she goes to Brooks, is like, oh, hey, oh, well, I'm just kidding, But even though Frill and Akane was like, yeah, they're not really buying it. And then Frill, being not as stupid as she is, she's been reading the script and say, hey, this is a whole thing about revenge, Is Aqua doing this to get revenge, trying to get the guy out and try to get revenge on the guy who killed her mom, So it's like Frill's not really as stupid as she looks, so she was kind of putting that together, what this whole script of this movie, this whole production of this movie is about, so. And then, and it's like the whole the one I kind of shot was good though, and then was like seeing what I said, Ruby wanting to die, it's just like, is that really the best way for her? And then we get this nice moment where with Aqua and Kana, they're both sitting down eating ramen, and so, and then Kana posted on social media, say, hey, this is Kana, and I'm graduating from the band, from the idol band, and just going into acting full time now. So, and so she's talking with Aqua, saying that, hey, you know what, this is my choice, and it's just like, I think acting is because I don't know, from her childhood acting, she was an actress, so not really an idol, so she's gonna go back to doing acting again. And so, and then Aqua, Aqua goes and says, well, you know, now we know Aqua, he does care about Kana, but also at the same time, he's still using her. And then when he goes and says, oh, you're special to me, she goes and flips out and storms out of the room. And it's like, huh, well, even something like that kind of puts doubts, and so. So when we something like that, you're still kind of manipulating. But that was kind of a funny, like, little sweet moment when he says you're special, and like I said, he does care about her, but in a way, he's still manipulating her. And he says even when she says, I'm still gonna take on the role anyway, um, and whatever the role is, she's gonna be in it still. And then with Akane, she walks. Oh, at the time we went, Akane, after the audition was, Akane was walking, sees Aqua sitting, and is walking past because she's still upset. She's still upset about what Aqua has done, and so yeah, that's over between them. And it's like, well, whatever you try to do, I'm going to try to stop you, and then or don't try to stop me. And as she's walking away, and Aqua says, "Hey, go," and he's like saying to himself, like, "Go ahead and try." I'm like, wow, now these two are now, because we see that Aqua is kind of starting all these negative emotions with all the tension between everybody, and so it's just like oh, like no one's gonna get their happy ending, especially Aqua, and he's not gonna get his happy ending. Either he's gonna go to jail or he's gonna die with them with killing his father, So yeah, there's just no happy ending. This guy is off the deep end now. And Ruby's starting to be like that, could be like that too, because she says she wants to die, and so, and then and then by the end, but then by the end, um, by the end, oh, I'm drawing a blank here. I felt like I was missing something, but by the end, the casting, all the whole production is being set up, right? They got the camera people, they got the green light from the company, and the script is ready, and the casting has been announced, and so they're good to go on starting filming of this movie. Oh yeah, that's right. Before that, that's what I remember. Kana was when it goes down was is downstairs and sees Ruby still doing rehearsing the lines, right. She keeps saying mom and mom, and this, of course, this role is gonna break her mentally severely, because she's now playing her mom, and when the time comes, when it comes to filming her I's death, that's just gonna completely destroy her completely, kind of like just reenacting the death of that's just gonna break Ruby so badly, But she's just doing this, she's put also saying that she's push herself to break, because she has no time off. She's doing all this on top of her idol stuff as well. Kana's pointing out, and she's just overwhelming herself, and she's already, like awkward. She's already starting to go off the deep end already, which she already has by saying what she wants to die though. So she's just pushing herself even further and further into the abyss. So yeah, so you say mom, and then just like, my God, she's just coming as corrupt as, well, just full on. Well, she's already starting to break her mental. She's already breaking mentally already. So, by the time comes when it's gonna the reenactment of the death of that's just gonna, that's it. She's done for. Severely, mentally, and physically. And so now that everything's been set up now, and so I think the finale comes to the finale because it's gonna be like an hour long episode, just like Just like from the very start of the series, it was the first episode was an hour long episode. So I figure this is gonna be the finale, because if it's gonna be like an hour long episode, that's it. That's gonna be the finale of this. So I'm like, oh, now I'm looking forward to it. I was like, what else is gonna get thrown into this whole entire thing? So the whole time it's gonna be able to film in this big movie, trying to draw out the killer, the father killer, and just what how all the mentality of all these people are gonna break. With Akane, and she gets to interfere with Aqua, with Kana, and then Mem's not gonna be part of the movie, so but I think the only one who's gonna get a happy ending is probably Mem, because she has no relationship anything with anybody, so I think the only one who's gonna get a happy ending is Mem. But we'll see though. So I don't know how this hour long episode is gonna end. So just like I'm sure everything's gonna get thrown in there and it's gonna be great. But regardless, because this whole series has been a roller coaster of a mental roller coaster, I would say. Because everything from the whole thing of the business of the entertainment business with the whole of the social media and how with of the acting and everything with the characters and everything in the series has been awesome and great, so and the characters too. So I'm just looking forward to see how this if it is a finale, because if it's gonna be an hour long episode, it has to be the finale, because like I said, the start of the series, the first episode was a hour long episode. So but we're gonna see. But this is but yeah, why I didn't forget to review episode, because there's gonna be whenever I review the whole series, there's gonna be about an episode or two I'm gonna skip, because either I couldn't have time to do it, but I know. So I'm just briefly. That was a brief description of the episode 33. So, but now with episode 34, now, man, this is gonna get pretty good, So more than good. I'm looking forward to it. I just can't wait to see how it's gonna go. So. Yeah, I'm probably sure people say that the sort probably get mad the source material is not gonna end the way it is, So, but like I said, I read very few mangas because I always go like going in blind from not reading the mangas. I like to be surprised, So, but if it goes the way it goes, I wouldn't be surprised if it does. Hey, I'll admit it to it. So, but we'll see. So that's episode 34 of Oshoko of season 3. Great, And I'm sure now the hour long episode is gonna be a peak of fire as usual, as this whole series has been, But thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more. We'll see you next time. Later.